I'm Sophie Bujold, and welcome to Conversations That Sell. This is the third in a three-part series designed to teach you how to make a better social media marketing plan for your travel business. So whether you're a beginner or a more advanced user, I've said it before, but the advice I give you here should be the foundation pieces of everything you do online. Our first order of business was to help you find some focus. Then, in our second video, we focused our strategies to help you find your target online. Now, in our third and final video, we're going to talk more about what you should be talking about to attract new customers and get them on your lead list. Specifically, we're going to take a look at the top thing you need to be doing to be successful on social media. We're going to talk about the 3 E's of good content and see a little bit of the types of content you should be sharing. So let's get started. Before we get into any kind of details on what you can do and what you can say, I want us to focus on the most important person you need to think about, and that's your reader. The first thing you need to do when you decide to use social media as a marketing tool is to remember one thing. People are not on social media to read advertisements. They are on there for themselves and for themselves alone. They mostly visit social media sites to have fun and get news from friends. And most of the time, they choose those people or companies that they follow based on 3 major things: how much entertainment they provide, how much of an emotional connection they have with the person or the brand, and how much perceived value they get out of them. So what does that mean for you? You need to remember that you are a guest of your audience. In fact, most of the conversations that will end up selling for you are probably not the ones you'd expect at all. Remember, you haven't paid for a place on your audience's newsfeed like you would in a newspaper ad or a Yellow Pages listing. So in order to gain the confidence and the honor of staying there, you need to remember this one important thing. Your relationship with your online audience is one of trust and mutual benefit. I can't stress this enough, and I'll say it again. Your relationship with your online audience is one of trust and mutual benefit. So always keep that in mind. This means that in order to step your new leads from a stranger to a buyer, you need to continually share things of interest and value to them. That means stepping away from the sales desk and stepping into the networking arena. So you need to change that hat a little bit. Can that include offers and promotions? Absolutely. But it shouldn't be the only way in which you connect with your audience when you're on social media. Think about it for a minute. How many people or companies do you stay connected with when everything coming out of their mouth or their keyboard is all about them or their latest deal? It's a total turnoff. Most people don't stick around. So it's pretty simple. If your social presence is all about you and what you're selling, people are going to stop paying attention. They might even really go out of their way to delete you. And with that, you lose not only a customer, but potentially many other customers that may have resulted from that single individual sharing your message. No pressure, right? Luckily, we're not going to let that happen. There are 3 things you need to keep in mind when thinking about the content you post. I call them the 3 E's of good content. So what exactly makes a good post? As we just saw, the first ingredient is a concern for your reader and what can be of value to them. Stepping out of that zone of what are my goals and what am I trying to accomplish, and thinking about your reader. So considering your target and my target are most likely not the same, this can take on many forms and look different for each person. So I can't really give you an exact template to follow, but I can tell you that your content quality and trust factor with your audience goes drastically up if you try to hit at least one of these 3 E's every time you post. And remember, the more E's you hit, the better, but if you have at least one, that should really start helping you with the content you share. The first E is all about entertainment. So you need to entertain your audience. Why? Well, everyone loves a good story or a funny joke. Don't you? Don't you enjoy hearing about those things and being entertained in that way? Social media users love getting involved in discussions and will do so at will if you give them the chance. So try including things like questions, photos, quotes, or even videos. Those are really highly engaging for most people, and they will get you really far in getting attention and involvement. Luckily, we have a ton of this stuff available to us in the travel industry and online. You even have the opportunity to create your own when you're traveling. Imagine that. Some professions do not have that luxury. Imagine trying to be an accountant or a lawyer trying to find engaging content to entertain their audience. It's a little bit harder to do. If you use this to your advantage and start asking yourself what can be shareable anytime you're experiencing something new or providing information, sharing your world, literally and figuratively, in an entertaining way will help people connect with you. So you really want to try to make that a priority. The second E on our list is all about education. So you need to provide valuable content that actually educates your reader. And this means doing things like sharing your blog posts, providing useful tips, discussing current events, passing along links to good articles or to neat content that you find. And it can also mean providing education about the value you can provide them as a travel professional. The information you provide in this content type is meant to show off your skills as an expert, not to give everything you do away for free. One trick I provide my clients when it comes to thinking of educational content they could provide is to ask themselves, what do my clients thank me for when I provide them travel information? I know you've had those little aha moments during your day when someone said something like, gosh, I hadn't thought about that at all. Thanks for mentioning it. Those are usually the moments when you need to grab your computer or a notebook and write down what you just shared. It's most likely a great nugget for your social updates. Using current events or a situation you're dealing with now can also be useful. While the news isn't always rosy, it can be a chance for you to step up to the plate as an expert and share your professional opinion. By being proactive and addressing the elephant in the room, you can reassure prospects and build their trust all in one shot. How great is that? The key is to have an honest and open dialogue with your audience about any topic you wish to educate them on. So be ready for the good and the bad. The important thing with bad comments is that you address them in a very professional manner, just like you would if you were having a discussion face to face and someone said something that you didn't agree with. It's the exact same concept. The important thing is that people see that you're not afraid of discussing those hard issues and actually giving your professional advice on it. That will build so much confidence, it's a little crazy. So the third E I want to talk about is all about engagement. You need to start engaging with the people who are following you. Don't just collect fans. Start really asking them for action and interacting with them. I often tell people that in order for their social media efforts to work, they need two things. First, they need to show up, and then they need to socialize. Because really, after all, that's the whole point of the affair. Using social media is a social platform, so you need to be out there and connecting. So what can you do to start engaging more with the people you meet? First, you need to invite them to participate. Does that sound a little too simple? It's true. The fact is that many people end up talking at their audience instead of with them. This is a small detail, but it makes all the difference in the world. Let me demonstrate what I mean. Which one of these two posts would you be more likely to take some action on? The first option. I just booked clients on their first trip to Australia. This is my favorite kind of thing to do. Or option 2. I just put the finishing touches on Mark and Julie's first adventure to Australia. So exciting. Click like if you wish you could be leaving for Australia too. Option 2 sounds much more exciting and inviting, don't you think? I did a few things there to boost the engagement factor in what I said, because really, neither one of those posts were wrong. It's just that one invited people to take action on it more than the other. So here are some of the things I did to boost that engagement factor. I tried to use more descriptive words. So rather than talking about a booking, I called it an adventure. And I talked about finishing touches, which imply careful attention was put into my work. Then I got personal. I talked about Mark and Julie. Obviously, you don't want to get to the point where you're sharing confidential information, but by just putting the first name of both of your clients, you're not really crossing that line. If it makes you feel better, you could also ask Mark and Julie ahead of time if you could mention their name on your Facebook page, but you really don't absolutely need to do that. The great thing is, if Mark and Julie are following on your Facebook page, this will probably invite them to make a comment saying they're looking forward to it, they're having a great time planning their trip, they can't wait to go. This can really draw a lot of action. The other thing I did is I showed some enthusiasm for the work. So if people can feel your passion, they're more likely to trust that you'll do a good job. Because if you think about it, you would probably rather do business with someone who loves what they do rather than someone who just puts up with it, right? So it's the same thing here. If you can communicate your passion online, that's even better. And the final thing I did is that I asked for action. So by asking people to click like, I've now created a clear expectation of what I want them to do. This is probably one of the most important things you can do to start boosting engagement on your page. You need to tell people what you want them to do next. You can either do that through a call to action like the one I just posted, or by asking a question. Just make sure that the question is simple to answer, otherwise people will feel it's too much work to reply. So as I said before, you don't need to use all of these tactics all at once. These are some ideas of the type of things you can do to start boosting the engagement. Pick and choose the ones that work for you and start using them on your page. It will build over time. So don't be scared if the first time you ask a question, no one answers. It's okay. Just keep doing it religiously, and you'll see that people start picking up on the expectation and they'll start answering when you ask something. So now you've learned about the 3 E's of good content. There's much more I could share with you about creating good engagement, but these are the essentials and the ones I could fit in this short video. So here's what I want you to do next. First, I want you to revisit your target market that we defined in video number 2. And I want you to ask yourself, what value can I provide for them? Then I want you to spend about 15 minutes brainstorming value-adding post ideas. I want you to list as many of them as you can and then pick at least 10 that you'll put into practice. And when I say value-adding posts, I mean posts that actually add some value for your customer. So think about them first and think about how you can make their time with you more valuable. And finally, I want you to list at least 3 new ways in which you'll try to engage and then put them into practice. So identify some of the things, whether you want to start educating people or asking them questions, including a call to action. Pick 3 and start practicing. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and share it with friends. And if you'd like more social media tips and advice, you can also head over to my website at www.sophiebujold.com and sign up for my free email tips. You'll get a new one every Tuesday, and you'll be the first to hear about new programs and services I'm offering. If you want to work with me on your online presence, you can also check out my services. Between now and March 15th only, you'll receive a bonus 30-minute Facebook page review if you let me know that you found me on Host Agency Reviews. So head on over and check it out, and I'm looking forward to working with you.